Welcome, Valpo fans, to another edition of Valpo Basketball Weekly, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. I'm Aaron Levitt. Joining me for the first time this season, the head coach of the Valpo women's basketball program, Mary Evans. Coach Evans, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Aaron.
It's been a long time coming to get to this point, get on the floor, get competing. A lot of work in the summer and in the fall to get ready for this week and to get started in competition. Want to go back to the summer and the fall, considering your team really a 50-50 split on this year's team between returnees and newcomers, kind of even on the coaching staff, two new assistant coaches. Few months working with the group, bringing them together. What have you done to kind of bring those groups together and get them to mesh as one unit heading into the season?
Yeah, I think we were brought in three transfers. We were able to bring the majority of those kids of the transfers in earlier than normal. They came in for both summer terms this year, which I thought was a positive thing for them to kind of be around us and be in the weight room. We had one of our seniors, Katie Byer, stick around all summer, so they were able to be with Katie and work out with Luke and do fitness and conditioning. And so I thought that was kind of a nice early time for that group to get together, to get to know each other, for those older kids to get comfortable with our other older kids. And then we were able to bring everybody in, and we brought the freshmen. We usually always bring the freshmen and the newcomers in a week early, so they have some one-on-one time with us as coaches to kind of learn everything and get up to speed before we bring the returners back. But pretty much every single returner called and said, I want to come back early. And so we got in the gym a little bit earlier than normal this year and got to work in the weight room. I think, a big focus for us this summer was getting more fit and being in better game shape earlier, because this team wants to play at a higher pace and wants to run the floor and wants to get back to our old defensive ways of being aggressive and turning people over. And in order to do that, we have to be in better fitness. So they really worked hard in that room, and we got on the court with them doing a lot of individual skill instruction. We were able to kind of introduce our two new coaches. We were able to bring some new ideas to the program. So we started implementing some of those new things. And just spending a lot of time together. I think our upperclassmen did a nice job of being very intentional with time. We started making sure we were doing things to build our culture outside of the court, from going to the dunes together, to doing some team building activities. And then as we got into the fall, we were able to bring some people in to work with the team, and then kind of that culminated with the last week and getting an opportunity to go to AIA and taking part of the team retreat again. So this group has been very intentional about spending time together and bonding the court, which is always important, but they've also spent a lot of time begging to be in the gym, working together to get to know each other on the court as well, which is just as important, if not more.
We got to see your team in action for the first time this past Monday against Liberty. Of course, you had a couple close scrimmages before that, but this was the first public game. A strong opening opponent, probably with the most height you'll see out of any of our opponents this year. Really good first three quarters, had a shot to cut it to two at the beginning of the fourth, didn't fall, ended up losing to them, but definitely some positives out of the game. Just assess what you saw in the game, both what went well and then what you need to work on going forward.
Yeah, I mean, Liberty's a very good basketball team. I think we were excited to play this game for the opportunity to go be a part of the tournament that AIA was putting on, and to get the opportunity of the team retreat. I don't know that I was super excited about opening with Liberty, but they have four of their five starters back from last year, a team that finished second in Conference USA and was playing their best basketball at the end of the year. So we knew it was going to be a tough game. We knew we were going to be outsized. And so I think some of the positive things that we saw is, again, we talked about wanting to get back to our more aggressive defensive ways. And I think we did. We turned them over 18 times. We took care of the basketball, which is something we've harped on all summer as well. So we won that margin. I think going into the game, we wanted really good ball screen defense. We wanted it to be aggressive. And I think we did a nice job with that. And that helped us kind of be able to play good team defense around their big. And I think the things that I think we could have done better in that game, defensively, we identified a couple kids as shooters, and we let them get way too many threes in that first half. I think the two we identified had 7 made threes, 9 total takes, and so we've got to have better game plan discipline, and that's something we talked about at halftime. And I thought we made that adjustment. I also thought we did a really good job of using our defense to get out in the break, and we had a lot of points off of their turnovers. And I thought at times we were able to play fast, which is how we wanted to play. And so, there were a lot of bright spots in the game. Obviously, Katie Byers' performance was one of the big bright spots. Seeing that kid have the game she had after the work she's put in all summer long. I was really excited for her because she has put in the time, and I'm hoping, and I think it will go a long way with her confidence moving forward throughout the season.
Kind of mentioned this a little bit. This game was part of a bigger event. It was the inaugural Athletes in Action Total Athlete Tip-Off as they debuted their brand new wooden family field house at their complex in Xenia, Ohio. You mentioned the team retreat. Can you talk a bit about the retreat and the overall weekend, the event, its impact on your program?
Yeah, this is the third time we've worked with Athletes in Action. When I first got here, we had a couple athletes, Meredith Hamlet and Addison Stoller, go on summer tours with Athletes in Action. And then obviously, when they got back, Addie actually brought the retreats to my attention. And so we had AIA on our campus in 1920. And then unfortunately, we kind of, shut down with COVID, and we weren't able to work with them during that time period. So last summer we restarted with them, and we actually went on campus for the first time. And it was just such a great experience being in the dorms together. It kind of felt like, for us old basketball coaches, like high school team camp, when you go and you stay in the dorm and you bond and you're playing games. We were able to practice. We were doing a lot of the team building activities through that. So when they reached out to us about this opportunity and said, we would be able to come in and do the retreat and play the game and be a part of this, it was a no-brainer to do it. And the team retreat is great. The exercises they do, some of it is basic, team building stuff that you could probably do on your campus, but they really delve into your team's personalities and your individual personalities, so you can kind of really understand maybe why people act or respond the way they respond in certain situations. And also how we can balance each other out. Like, we learn kind of what are our main personalities, and like maybe how I can help balance one of my coaching staff members off, or a player, or players can help balance each other out in different scenarios and situations. And so I just think it provides a little bit of clarity, maybe a little bit more understanding, and maybe a little bit more grace when you are dealing with people in maybe heated situations, or maybe situations where I can't wrap my head around why someone's responding to a situation some way. I think it gives you some clarity, and I think it's a really positive thing. And just to be a part of that, the banquet, having all those other great players there, and the great coaches. I mean, listening to the Liberty's men's coach speak, it was just awesome. Like, listening to him talk about why he coaches basketball and how he pours into his players was really cool. And then, to finish up by hearing Coach Drew speak was just amazing, and to really take some of his messaging of why we play the game, and really what we can control, and how our job as athletes and coaches is to go out and play as hard as we can. And if we do that, like, that's all we can ask of these young people, is to go out there and to compete and to try their best, and to be there for each other. And it was really neat hearing him speak, and getting to be a part of that, and then obviously getting to stick around and watch some of our men's game was pretty cool too.
You're here at home for your next couple games. You got Purdue, Fort Wayne, Saturday, Trinity Christian Tuesday coming up. What are you looking for out of your team over the next few games here?
Yeah, improvement. I think the things that we talked about when we got home really were about improving in our consistency. And so for us, there were moments where we thought we played really well. There was moments where we played defense with the pressure that we wanted to play, but there were also moments where we took possessions off. And so we're really hammering being consistent this week, being consistent in practice, being consistent in everything that we do, so that consistency then goes into the games. And I think the other thing we're really harping on is continuing to trust, right? Trust our game plans, trust our teammates, trust ourselves, trust our training that we've put in, so that we can go out and execute those things. And so those are some of the things that we're really talking about right now, right? Consistency in our effort and energy, and trust in each other, and improving every single day. And that's all we want to see as we go out there on Saturday is, did we improve from game one to game two? Did we give 100%? Did we trust each other? And if we do those things and we trust the process throughout the course of this season, this team will be just fine.
That home opener Saturday night, 7 p.m. at the Arc against Purdue Fort Wayne. And then right back at it Tuesday morning, a Kids Day game, 11 a.m. against Trinity Christian here at home. Coach Evans, thanks for joining me today. Good luck with your next few games.
Thank you, Aaron.
This has been Valpo Basketball Weekly, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.